mystery of Uncovered no more. Welcome to my black screen Sunday. As a matter of fact, on one of my Twitter, I have made it just solid black. Don't look at me. Every single day, literally, we do not get a break from this, do we? Fam, America, real Americans. You are not real to me, America, if you're not pretty much a Democrat right now. Now, I'm not saying in the next 20 years we're not going to straighten some things out. What I am saying is this is too far gone in our federal government. And yet at the same time, the breakthroughs that... Actually, let me take this back to when I was being born this time. The breakthroughs that Lyndon Baines Johnson, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and to a degree the Kennedy family, but they were Catholics and they were bullshitters. So, get over yourself. And they had money, and that family's already been judged. And matter of fact, they had a witch. That mama that had like 10 kids, she's a witch. I'm a sorceress. There's a difference. Witches don't like sorcerers. So, bullshit that. I've got a swinging around in Austin, Texas, because there's too many Wiccans in Austin. I don't like you any more than I like Christians. Right now. And that's what I'm talking about right now. That's my Texas voice. Let me soften it up a little bit. Evolution is a beautiful thing. Now, I am not talking about that thing where we start arguing about how many millions of years it took for the big boom or whatever you believe in as far as the creation. The point is, I'm staring at an Amazon huge building right now, going to pick up my prescription in Pflugerville, Texas. That is now. How we got here shouldn't hardly ever be what we're about anymore. There is enough work to do where we are right now. There's enough people suffering, and oh my God, COVID-19 really did up that hell on earth that we can make beautiful. We the people, we the little people, we're very resourceful, but every day we are faced with bullshitters in the public political realm. Federal, state, local. Okay? And how do we keep going? Is a question that I have been asking myself since 2008. And I'm still here, and I'm still keeping going. Kara, how'd you do that? Because I've got haters in my life still that shouldn't be doing that. They should be coming back to me, and they should be saying, oops, I fucked it up. Let's start over. And they don't do that. They stay away from me, and that's just a dominance move on people's part that I'm sick of. I am literally sick of it. This society is so bitchy. I just don't even know. Anyway, that's the point of this. How do I do it? I understand the concepts of evolution. I understand the concepts of judgment. I understand the concepts of karma. I understand the concepts of yin-yang. But I don't get into the detail, and horoscope. I don't get into the details of any of that. Other people do, And when I am privileged to be around them, I will fellowship in their worlds. Just like when there's animal people around me, and I could be one of those animal people. I could just spin off, because animals and I get along really well. It is much, much easier to get along with animals than it is humans. People. And there's been days the past 5 years that I wished I wasn't called to the people side as much as I was called to the animal side. And all I got to say to the ones that are more called to appreciating and enjoying the animal side and being a part of that, leading in that, you really need to cut some grace to the humans in your life. Because you are so negative. And the other ones that are negative are IT people. You get up in your world, and that's the only world that exists to you, and that's bullshit. Okay? Open mind, please, but focus on your universe is what it is. And so this morning, I have a draft now on one of my 7 blogs, because Steve Bannon is at it again, and these people should be in jail. Y'all, come on. Donald Trump and his junior ought to be in jail. Shit, that skinny daughter of his should be in jail. And here we are, still fucking around with it as a nation. And there are times when I just want to say, I'm not even going to acknowledge that. I'm not going to write about it. I'm not going to do artwork surrounding it. I'm not going to throw runes or dragon tarot or my flower tarot. I ain't going to make this pretty. I ain't going to make this ugly. I ain't going to recognize it. But the problem is that's called in the revelatory revelation, which I've interpreted. So, sorceress here. Revelation 1-3. What happens to people who choose to stop dealing because they're just tired? That's called Laodicean. I had a church throw me out, and I warned them before they did. Y'all are Laodicean. What happens? What's the definition of that? Now, the Bible ain't too good at mixing the pronouns, but I done already said I ain't gonna change it where the Bible's concerned, but I can certainly change it, since I am Beaty-Coffey of the Ministry of Uncovered No More, who has interpreted the entire book of Revelation and has no problem continuing to do that. It just so happens that the king and I aren't really looking at the Bible right now, but you ought to hear some of the conversations I have with my 13-year-old, explaining to him, yeah, the Bible's true. Don't believe one bullshitty a, and, or the of it coming out of the mouth of a Baptist, Pentecostal, Catholic. I covered my bases for you idiots. I ain't gonna deal with the Quran right now, but I could. So, fuck off, everybody. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which ancient book. They are beautiful, but we got people in the Republican side of things, and Steve Bannon is one of them, got his criminality on up in that, and of course they want to stay out of jail, y'all. There's a lot of Americans, it doesn't seem like to me, that they've raised kids, but I know they have, because their kids are good kids, good citizens, okay? We dealing with a bunch of bullshitters. I don't know what their mamas and daddies did, but I do know this. Ain't any kid on the face of the earth, I don't fucking care how old you are, that wants to go to jail. If you have had family or business or whatever, that made a bunch of money, and so you got money and power. Ain't nobody wants to go to jail. Hell, we can't even get common people who are doing the pedophilia and the Catholic Church. We can't even get the priests and all them to go to jail. They should be. You know? So back to Steve Bannon is making news right now. And this is according to who I watch on Twitter, because this is the King's people. So don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me about, oh, well, that's not my news sources. I don't fucking care. And you shouldn't either, America. Why don't you pay attention to what the King wants to pay attention to? Why don't you do that? Because let me tell you something, your media choices will become a lot simpler. Instead of you go running around screaming about how Fox is pure lies, which is a big duh, screaming about MSNBC or CNN or this one or that one. When did you go to school? Or did you not? Because even if you didn't go to school, you can still think for yourself. You don't even have to read to think for yourself. You should be able to pick out conspiracy theory. I'm sorry. I could scream that right now. As one of my children said, I just don't say much because so many people are saying stupid things. I just looked at that one and thought, I don't even want to tell this one that I have been doing that my whole fucking life. Literally. And see, the thing is, and I have told people this that I know, you ain't stupid. See, that's Laodicean. So let's go back to the godfather, godmother figure. You know, the allegorical one is Lilith. Well, Terra is right there. It don't matter, it's one and the same. When you're just talking about fairy tale, okay? Lilith and Terra, same thing. The girl side. And I am going to spit you out just as fast as a godfather figure, let me tell you that. Because, you know, the famous saying is, at least just land somewhere. No, it's not even that anymore, people. Because like I said, criminality is happening. I'm about to deal with Steve Bannon. I stayed away from that bullshitter. Knew. You know, that he's like Alex Jones. I mean, if you've ever watched Alex Jones's stuff, it's just like they don't want us to take them seriously, right? They're so bad about all this shit. Okay. So why are you doing that, Kara? Because, you know, we can see you right now. First off, this isn't your kind voice. Secondly, are you banging your head up against the steering wheel since I parked? You know, I don't need to drive. No, I'm not banging my head up against the steering wheel. Okay? I'm doing this in obedience to the King of Kings. And it really needs to get that simple, America. I am done here. I can't even say it needs to be that black and white, because I wrote some time ago, and then Bernice King posted her daddy saying the same thing. It's like, oh my gosh, this man and I say the same thing all the time. You don't use the term black and white in America. You don't use color to describe things, people. Because white supremacy has been that bad to deal with. And I'm the one reading Mary Trump's new book. She knows Donald Trump. Her uncle, I think, should be in jail. Okay. So you don't use color to describe things. And here I am. I've already heard it from the man himself, King Jr. himself. You know, whites made everything dark and bad and ugly to be black. In other words, they deserve slavery. Bullshit. And I knew that some time ago. It's like, how am I going to start expressing myself? And I've got a thesaurus, and guess what? I need to just be looking up words over and over again. I need to become more expressive and break out of the norms in poetry, in commentary, in everything. I need to break out of the norms as I continue to go on, because I don't want anything to do with this bullshit. But I do need to continue to move on with the good people of all tribes, tongues, peoples, and nations. You know, I just talked with Bernice King, Mary L. Trump in my writing room, in my discussion room. Okay, one woman's black, one woman's white, and they're both powerful. And but Mary Trump doesn't have assassinated individuals in her family. Bernice King and Malcolm X's family, you know, they have assassination to their glory, martyrdom to deal with, and that's very powerful. And you're going to listen to Kara just like you're going to listen to Martin Luther King Jr., because I'm going to keep saying this stuff. Do not use colors anymore to compare things because of what white people have done in the whole root base of this country. Now, I have a website. I'm going to call it my 7th one. And I don't post when I write on that website. I do not put it on Twitter. I don't put it on Facebook. And I've already told the king I'm going to start putting some of my stuff on Facebook. But this blog does not go anywhere. It's a standalone blog. And it's Stephen Benet's poetry. Because the thing is that Stephen Benet is going to teach us that the struggle had to happen for the beauty that we have now. And indeed, I've already published on one of my 6 others that are going to be going everywhere. I've already published yesterday, still working on it a little bit, but about finished with it, of a woman who wrote on Jeff Tiedrit's Smirking Chimp website. Beautiful, beautiful article. And I had already suspected this about Lyndon Baines Johnson, that he had a balance to him. And that the reason that I did that, I was able to see that, is because I read his wife's letters. And Lady Bird Johnson is quite one of the most gracious women of Texas that there is, with Ann Richards, who was a governor. And whether you like it or not, that's the kind of woman I am. And I have been up, you know, I was obedient to my parents, and I was all of that. I was Republican. I marched in the life and all that, 40 Days for Life and all of that. I did all of that in obedience to the religion that I was a part of. And then I broke out, and that's when everybody left me, because I became real. In other words, I evolved, and I evolved fast, and I'm going to keep evolving. And I can help you evolve if you'll let me. But tearing me up on the way out isn't the way to do that. And I'm still dealing with that. It is unreal at every level what some of us are still dealing with. And basically, I'm reminding you that you're just going to keep getting spit out of the mouth of God, Father, Mother if you keep going like that. Because it's Laodicean. You don't care. Do you know how many times I've heard I don't care? Coming out of people's mouths, young and old? No, you don't. I'm sick of that statement. But focusing to know what to care about is a difficulty that I think, that kind of lethargy I have compassion for, and that's why I keep writing. But this woman that wrote for Smirking Chimp, she talks about the huge comparisons. Lyndon's LBJ's project that was passed, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, what they're passing, is very similar. And And the media, for some reason, is going negative. And now, this morning, I'm facing Bannon again, which that's the insurrectionists. See, they just want to keep warring. And that's where I'm going to say Stephen Benet brings the yin-yang to that. Because the war has had to be there. But not anymore. And so the old is passing away, and it's just a hard transition, and I don't want it to be hard anymore. And that's where I'm going, at least with my ministry. I don't want it to be hard anymore. Now, do I look at the hard? Oh, you damn right I look at the hard. But there's a learning process I'm going through where I allow runes and cards, tarot cards, to bring me out to see the uppermost picture. And sure enough, this woman that I just featured from Jeff Tiedrich's website on a blog, she's telling me what's actually going on. The media's not doing right, not doing us right with this new infrastructure bill. The media's not doing it right, and I wish y'all would straighten your asses up. Now, I'm tired of it, and I understand you got to make money, and so you got to appeal to all of it, but damn, y'all, wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong. So I'm looking to a poet to go back and speak in balance about how the struggle is real and the evolution is equally real. The evolution towards good overcomes evil is real. What the media is portraying and social media is portraying a lot of times is not real. I just had to say on video, and I may get hit for this, but there's a lot of you people ain't struggling with depression. You're struggling with a toxic society all around you. Now, you're going to get up and you're going to do something about that personally or not is the question you got to ask. And that means a lot of times you have to accept other people and their stupid politics. Just like my daughter said, I don't say much most of the time because it's just a bunch of stupid stuff being talked about here. See, and we're going to have to learn to reform our conversations. We're going to have to learn to sit together and read poetry and discuss it in the modern day. We're going to have to learn to agree that the negativity needs to come down. All of it. And we need to lift one another up. But I don't want your old Christian jargon. I don't want it. Because you're not doing it. You're not doing it the King's way. You're still demanding your doctrine be correct. And that's bullshit. There is not one shred of Christian doctrine left as far as I am concerned. You can't touch it with a 10-foot pole. It is so full of racism, white supremacy, sexism. Does anybody in America have any questions? You cannot touch any doctrine in any quote-unquote Christian, Catholic, all of that system. I think Buddhism is better. If I was going to become any kind of religion, the King has led me to just drop it all because spirituality is not practical enough in this day and age. But the Buddhism would probably be what I'd go towards because they're better at yin yang and they're better at evolutionary tendencies. Christians just want to stay in the dark ages because men like to be in control. Men like to be in control. Small penis syndrome is a thing in the Christian world. Men are afraid of women in the Christian world. Like as if we're going to rule them. It's not like you haven't been ruling and doing a bad job of it, and then a lot of times doing a good job of it for thousands of years because that's the way it is, whether the Bible was followed or not. But, it is women that have to break the curse of and he shall rule over you. And let me tell you, I got some guys that don't like me because of it. Well, you know what? Fuck off. I happen to give you good citizens in the form of birthing 10 children. So let's just get our minds off of penises and vaginas, shall we? Submit one to another is in the New Testament. And that's just about it. That's just about it. Okay, so I'm going to put this up here with Steve Bannon. No, I don't want to. I want to ignore it. I'm not going to be Laodicean according to the book of Revelation. Spit myself out of my mouth. Because I'm at that level as a sorceress. I can tell you what Godfather, Godmother figures actually do in the modern day. I'm going to keep, and I can point to Revelation and tell you that. And I just did. You need to care. You need to focus. You need to choose. And all of you wonderful animal people out there, not just the animal worlds, bitches. You're a human. You need to invest into the human world, and you need to be nice. Stop being bitchy to humans and only trying to have your own little world where animals are concerned. I'm talking about those of you that are paying your bills, those of you that do have family that supports you. Okay? Yeah. No, I agree. I have lovely animals in my midst. We take very good care of our animals. I have been adopting animals since, I was pregnant with my first child and it was like, I need a dog. Boom. Done. Okay, so don't task me with not being an animal person. My two cats, Baymax and Tadashi, talk to me all the time. I can read their thoughts. So don't even go there, okay? This is about yin yang. This is about those of us that we have some insurance. We can pay bills. We need to quit bitching. We need to get to work, and we need to be about people as well as animals, and we need to stop being exclusive. And you're going to hear me say this and say this and say this, but I'm going to have to put a fucking situation going on right now with Republicans on my website because they're still pulling shit and they should be in jail. There's a bunch of pastors in this country that should be in jail, as far as I'm concerned, and Catholic priests. So, this is our world, y'all. And we need to make it more beautiful than this because people are still hurting. Okay. Have a nice Sunday. See, look, I have flushable wipes right here in my car. I'm going to go get my medication. This is going on the article where Steve Bannon is going to go. I want to show you the middle finger because I don't like people like that, and I'm not going to do it. This is Sunday. I'm going to pretend that I'm nice feeling right now. I'm a nice person. Are you? I'm not going to say anything right now because I don't know very many nice people in my world right now. I just don't. I'm so sorry. It's been, there's no excuses here, y'all. There's no excuses here. Okay. Have a nice day anyway.